Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now you've read the title, clicked on the video, and by this point you're probably demanding that I explain myself. To me, one of the best things about PC gaming is that I get to re-experience all of the classics I played during childhood on my PlayStation 2, only with higher frame rates and better visual quality. Don't get me wrong, 11-year-old me loved PlayStation and I'm still a big Sony fanboy today, but the potential for customization and tweaking with PC titles is what keeps me playing primarily on this platform. This doesn't just apply to PS2 era games, of course. Many releases that I first experienced at 30 frames per second on console, I've played and replayed a few times on PC, including the excellent, albeit buggy, Fallout New Vegas. The main focus of today's video is GTA San Andreas though. My modest i7-3770 and GTX 1050 Ti system will make light work of this Rockstar classic at 1440p resolution with the highest in-game settings. In fact, it still looks pretty good for a game that released over 15 years ago. We're also getting over 100 frames per second, which sounds decent, but the performance of this game on modern systems is actually its biggest flaw. San Andreas was originally designed to run on the PS2 with a maximum of 30 frames per second, though here in the UK it targeted just 25 FPS because of the PAL or PAL television standard. These regional differences are somewhat irrelevant here. What's important to remember is that the game's physics are tied to the frame rate, so the option to keep the aforementioned frame rate cap in place on the PC version is essential as well. This is either 25 or 26 FPS depending on whether you have a retail or Steam copy. Whether you want to go for a nostalgia-inducing drive or maybe a swim along the sunny Los Santos coast, running the game uncapped on modern hardware will present you with unwanted and inconvenient issues. Watch what happens in this side-by-side comparison. I'll stop accelerating when I get to the last billboard on the right-hand side and let the vehicles come to a natural stop. As you can see, the uncapped frame rate causes the car to screech to a quick halt, but the 26 FPS cap ensures that we roll to a natural standstill. Even getting up steep hills with the frame rate cap disabled proves awkward. This effect on driving can make certain mission-based tasks nearly impossible, such as the Alley-Oop driving school challenge in San Fierro. Keeping the game uncapped will mean that it's very difficult to get enough roll on the car, whereas enabling the frame rate cap maintains the intended difficulty. Swimming is also hilariously slow with an uncapped frame rate, even though you might think that the opposite would be true. Somehow we can't dive either. This reminds me of my first swimming lesson where my brain just physically refused to let my body go underwater. I was like, I can do this, no I can't. This will have a detrimental effect on the amphibious assault mission given by Woozy Moo. So much for being stealthy. Why have you hired me, Woo? I can't swim. Now to alleviate this you can install Silence San Andreas patch, which will improve the game's built-in frame limiter, increasing it to 30 FPS, or you can install River Tuner and cap your frame rate to 30 manually while leaving the in-game FPS unlocked. Using River Tuner allows you to set a custom frame rate cap, but bear in mind that the higher you go, the more difficult certain tasks will become. Opting for 30 FPS will make everything work as intended, but setting a custom 60 FPS limit will still make diving underwater quite hard, often leading to mission failures. The game even had the cheek to tell me that my lung capacity was upgraded moments before death, which I absolutely lost it at. But there we go, sometimes 30 FPS is better than 60, at least in cases when it's necessary to avoid breaking certain titles. Now believe it or not, despite its age, San Andreas isn't the only game where 60 FPS isn't a good idea. There are more modern titles out there, and I'm sure we'll come across some of those at some point on this channel. But as for now, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.